In section 2 of the communication module, you will see that there is activity 1, activity 2, and summative assessment task 2. So for activity 1, you need to analyze the letter that has been written by Elizabeth to apply for an ECD practitioner role or job in Durban. So in this letter, you will see that there are mistakes that have been made. And if we look at the correct format of the letter, you will see that you need to have a full address on the right-hand side, which would be the sender's address. Then we have the address on the left-hand side, which would be the recipient's address. It would also need to be addressed to the person who you are sending it to. Then after that, you need to have a greeting. So, dear the person's name, or dear sir or madam, if you are not sure of the gender. Then the letter needs to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So if we look at it, the introduction will be the reason why you are writing the letter. The body would give any information that the receiver needs to get, and a conclusion would be ending of the letter, thanking them for their time and letting them know that if they have any questions with regards to the content of the letter, that they can contact you. Then you need the salutation, which is the end of the letter or the closing of the letter. You need to put a full name and signature. So when you are looking at activity 1, you will see that a lot of these elements are missing from the letter, and there's a lot of information that is in the letter that is opinion that doesn't need to be there, and also there is a lot of mistakes in the grammar. So in this activity, they are asking you to do quite a few different things. They're asking you how you would change the language of the letter and why, to make it more professional. Then they would say what they are asking what should be left out of the letter. Then we are saying what has been left out and should be included. So that would be so that the letter can be professional. And then what would happen for you to change the layout of the letter. So for step 4, you need to rewrite the letter, taking into account all of the notes that you made in your question 1, question 2, and question 3. So that is the letter activity, and you will see in the activity that we have given you guidance on what the correct format of the letter is. So look at that example to see what the correct format should be and to identify what has been left out or what has been included that should not be there. And then for activity 2, we are looking at transferable skills. So what a transferable skill is it is a skill that can be used in the same skill that can be used in a different job. So for example, if we take a look at the firefighter, there is different skills and different qualities that a firefighter needs to be able to do their job. So a skill would be the firefighter needs to have technical skills because he needs to know what equipment to use when he goes into a fire. However, if we look at an ECD practitioner, which is what we're doing in this activity, is we're saying how skills can be used in a different field that can be transferred to an ECD practitioner. So if we look at the technical skills, the firefighter needs technical skills to be able to do their job, but an ECD practitioner needs to have technical skills to do their job. So the technical skills will be different in each role, but it will be able to transfer from one role to another. So another example of that is problem solving skills. A firefighter needs to have problem solving skills so that if he gets to a fire and a section of the fire wasn't reported, he needs to know how to approach that fire to put it out. A practitioner will use problem solving skills as if they've planned a lesson, and what they've planned, when they get to the lesson with the children, there is children that are struggling to complete the activity, so they need to adapt the activity. So that is what we mean by a skill can be transferable. Is it's the same type of skill, but it's different elements of the skill that can be transferred from one position to the other. Then we're looking at qualities. A quality is something inside. So passion, love, sympathy, all of those are internal qualities. So for example, a firefighter needs to have empathy because a firefighter could be dealing with burn victims, and they need to be empathetic because they need to be able to handle that person with care when they're getting them out of the fire because they could be burnt. Same as the ECD practitioner. The ECD practitioner needs to be empathetic because they could be dealing with children who have been abused or neglected. So those children will need to be treated with care. And that is what we mean by skills and qualities can be transferred from one role to the other. So in your activity, you are going to identify one of the jobs from the list 3 skills, list 3 qualities that one of the people that we have on the list, and then you will use those same skills and qualities for an ECD practitioner. So the skills and qualities will be the same that you complete in the table, but the explanation on it will be different. Then we are looking at summative assessment task 2. In summative assessment task 2, you are going to be applying for a vacancy at the center where Mrs. M. Michaels is. So in the explanation, you will see that they ask you to submit a CV and they ask you to submit a cover letter. Obviously, based on the activities that you've done earlier in the module, you will know the correct format of a letter. So please follow that format to do your cover letter, and please make sure that any information that you need to make sure is included in the letter, like the address, like the person who the letter is being addressed to, like the reason you are writing the letter. Make sure that you gather that information from the explanation of how to complete the activity. Then you will need to complete your own CV. Now, we have provided a template for you so that it is easier and you know what information is expected in a CV. So we have included a template. So please follow that template, as it will make the completion of your CV a little bit easier. But please make sure that the criteria that has been set in the advert is met. So for example, if the breakdown says you need to be qualified, then you need to have some type of ECD qualification listed in your CV. If the advert requires experience, in your CV, you need to have experience working with children. So please complete your CV keeping the criteria that has been set out in the advert. So you will need to do a cover letter to Miss M. Michaels, and you will need to submit your CV.